how have you been since our last meeting?
I would say that I've definitely been a lot better. It's been a few weeks, right?
Yep, it's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
And like your overall mood, how have you been? Have you been feeling any depression, any anxiety about anything?
I would definitely say I've been more depressed than I've been anxious, but usually by the middle of the day that kind of tapers off, and I've kind of gotten into a bit of a routine, so the day balances out.
Cool. When you we're talking about your routine, like what things, we set some goals about you exercising, maybe working on your diet, things that you wanted to do that we talked about. How has that been going for you?
Well, as far as routine goes, I did start back at work, which that's definitely helped. So I'm like 3 days, at night. So during the day, I like to kind of, I'm not really doing so much exercise, but I've been watching what I eat and, just kind of cleaning up around the house and, I don't know, and that's been enough to get me through the day,
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent. How about the support groups that we talked about? You going to the peer support groups? Have you been attending those?
Yeah, I go to the support groups. They were kind of awkward at first because I didn't really want to tell anybody what was going on, but I made a few friends. I got together for coffee during the week with one of the ladies I met. So I've definitely been sharing more, and I'm not so nervous about going anymore.
If you could pick any one thing in particular, maybe several things that really have helped you from the peer support groups, what would you have to say about that?
I guess it's mostly just the support that I'm not the only one. There's 14, 15 people that go there on a regular basis. They all have the same problem as me, and they're all living with it. And just knowing that I'm not alone is probably the most beneficial part.
And so you said that you've made some friends. Would you say that there's anybody in particular, or do you like in AA or NA 12-step support groups, they use sponsors, for instance? Like, is there anybody like that you've met in these groups that, somebody that's a mentor that you look up to that you can call and really get help from?
Well, the lady that runs the group, she's been really helpful, and she's kind, and I don't feel like intimidated to call her, but I have made a friendship with one particular woman that I have called more often than not. I wouldn't so much say as a mentor, but definitely a friend now.
That's great. How about the treatments? The treatments were something that I think when some of our first meetings, you were apprehensive about. You had heard things about. Most of them turned out to be myths, I think, about like how terrible the treatments were going to be, and basically, have you been keeping up with it? Have you noticed any progress? How do you feel overall from the treatments, and what are the doctors saying?
Well, obviously I didn't want to do the treatment initially because I thought it was just a death sentence, what was going on. The medications, I don't know so much that they're helping or hurting, but the doctor says that, overall health is improving. I'm more willing to take the medication on a regular basis. I really haven't missed any appointments with the doctor. My overall health, I'm not really sure, I guess I'll know more over some time.
Well, in the time that we've been meeting together, I've noticed a drastic change in you, for whatever that's worth. Sometimes it's hard for us to see the change in ourselves, and your mood, your temperament, and your optimism has just been great. Everything has changed. You've done a total 180 really since you came in. I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you do, what you were like when you got this news and you first met with me. And I think you're doing fantastic. I just want to be able to tell you that personally. I'm amazed with your progress.
Yeah, getting a diagnosis shock. Obviously, when I came to you, I was reckless and just, crying all the time. I wouldn't leave the house. I didn't want to socialize with anybody, and now, I'm invested in trying to get better. It's not so much a death sentence to me anymore, and I'm more aware of my illness. now that I know what it is and what I'm dealing with, it's not so scary to cope with. I really haven't addressed the issue with people outside of my peer group. I really don't know how to talk to other people about it, so I don't. But the doctors and you and the support group have been great, and I'm okay.
That's good. And you'll make progress in all those areas. You just gotta keep doing what you're doing. Is there anything at all, anything else that I can help you with moving forward? Anything like any kind of information, any kind of education, any kind of anything that I could get you in contact with? Anything that you can think of besides what we've already established?
I guess just maybe long term, I'm not really sure what to expect 10, 15 years down the road. So as far as like being prepared for the end, or long-term health care down the road, definitely insurance questions, anything like that, you could definitely help me with.
Well, I'll do my best to get you as much information as I can before you leave today. Well, basically, I wanted to let you know that you've been doing great. You've been moving forward. You've accomplished or working towards all of the goals that we set out in the beginning of our meetings over the course of the last few months. And basically, what I want you to know is that this will be our last official meeting. I think you're doing great, and I don't think that you need anything else from me. And what I want to let you know, though, is that I will be here for you. If you ever need anything, you have my contact information. You can call me no matter what it is that comes up. You know that I'll do everything I can to help you. And I'm also going to set up some sort of follow-up with you 6 months from now, a year from now.
That would be great. That would be great.
And we'll meet up either formally here in the office or anywhere that's convenient for you, and hopefully you'll have nothing but good news going forward. And I think that'll do it for us. Okay, so in my interview, I tried to establish the fact that the client had been moving forward and had done great in the time that we were working together. I tried to use the empowerment strength perspective just to help her with her depression, self-esteem issues, things that go along with her diagnosis. And I think that moving forward, this client's doing great, and that we can terminate our regular meetings and move to the follow-up stage of our relationship.